Today we're jumping into the psyche of a hotel owner and investor. We're joined by Gadi Hassin, who's a hospitality professional with over 25 years of experience in hotel management across 5 continents. After leadership roles with the Hyatt, Ritz-Carlton and Avolo, he became a managing partner at Selina in 2020, later serving as a global COO managing 120 locations worldwide. Now as the CEO and co-founder of Helios Hospitality Management, Gadi focuses on experiential hospitality brands for nomadic travelers. So I guess
it's a big watch.
Yeah, it's a big production.
Big clock warning me. Red.
So you just came from Avola Woolloomooloo?
That's correct.
Yeah, our old watering hole.
Yes. You probably remember that.
Very, very fondly.
Yes, that was one of the first attempts to create a working space really inside hotels, and we're talking about pre-COVID. So when everybody were talking about co-works and so on.
This was a long time ago. Like, for anyone listening, Gadi and I have history because he was actually one of our strategic advisors, and I should have listened to him more back in the day because I was still a green first-time founder when I had my 2-space startup turning restaurants and hotels into co-working spaces. And Avola Woolloomooloo was one of our first hotel partners because you saw the value of trying to foster and create community in there. The design of the space is beautiful. And
it's still serving me till today. I mean, even though we had an office in the building somewhere else, I still prefer to sit in my little pod, call it, and then meeting people outside and in the cafe, and then just it makes it very productive.
Yeah.
Of course, there's still times when the music turns on, and then needs to be more quiet space. But overall, it's been 7 years that I'm coming and going. I've been traveling a lot, as you know. So, and I think one of the nice things about it's not just the space, because people are starting to get used to you coming and using the space.
Right.
So I'll give an example. In one of the time I came, and there was in the pod that I used to sit, there was a reserve sign. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go and sit somewhere else. And then the guys in the lobby in the cafe said to me, "Why are you not sitting in your place?" I said, "Well, there is a reserve." He said, "No, we put it for you because there is a function and we didn't want anyone else to sit there." And I thought that's really, so it's not just having a space, it's having the people to embrace this space and to, and the other part is that, I'm not the only one who comes and work there. And then there is slowly, it's the creation of a community around, and there is a psychologist that works remotely, and there is a contractor that meets his people over there. But it doesn't really matter. The idea is that, the outcome is that people are connecting, and so it's and besides, and that's what I like. I don't like to sit in an office.
Yeah, me neither.
I like to see people. I like to, it doesn't trouble me, music, as long as it's not. Then for me, this is a perfect setup to work from a space that is combining, you see.
It's fascinating to me because even though commercial real estate, as you would have seen, because you're very experienced and have had executive roles in the hotel world, they're starting to say there's the hotelification of commercial real estate. Whether that's happening or not properly is debatable. I see the buzzword being used a lot, but I don't see, honestly, great examples of it happening. Because it's really hard to install a sense of hospitality, right? I mean, to all the things that you were talking about, I think some of the earliest great examples of even co-working within hotel lobbies are possible because you've got staff already there servicing the hotel who care about the people who put the reserved sign,
Yeah, you're right. And I recently was in a meeting in one of the buildings in the city, and it was a lunch meeting in a little cafe that they have. And they've tried to activate it with music, with a live music.
Right.
But it felt out of context. It was actually to the point that it felt like disturbing. At lunchtime, when people do a business meeting or so on, you have a live music that overshade you need to. So I think, and that's something that hotels gradually improving, but there's no doubt that there is no longer just about accommodation in hotels or accommodation or the food and beverage services. Hotels are, people are looking to stay as part of some other benefits that they want. So, the experience is a big part of it. What kind of experience? And when I talk about experience in hotel, in the past we were talking about, I don't know, how the check-in is efficient. So but that's not the experience we're talking. Is how do you embrace the space to create these social connections, to create engagement, and to create kind of a programming and a content to the space, because offices, building, it was. It can be as beautiful as I worked at the Ritz-Carlton, beautiful hotels, great view. But to engrave the soul and the vibe, that's a different story.
So different, because when you think about office, it's almost, even though we're doing our best to evolve, people have to go there, or used to. So then you're almost working backwards from an incorrect goal, because they're being forced to go there. And how do you make that forced journey as a good experience as possible? Whereas when it comes to hotels, the space in itself there, you're designing and thinking about how to activate it with the goal in mind of creating the soul, right? Whereas I think sometimes in office, the goal isn't the soul. The goal is come into the office and work, and then soul is the afterthought. So even earlier, I still remember fondly when I used to work from Mavola Woolloomooloo and some of these other hotels, the music would very purposefully get turned louder at 5 p.m. to be like, okay, it's time to finish work, go to the bar, have a drink. And we were always looking for ways to activate it, because even if a hotel was 100% occupied, sometimes you wouldn't know it because the public spaces needed a bit of help. Have you seen this talk of creating a soul within the space? Have you seen ways that that's evolved over the last even just 3-4 years?
I think it's first come from this demand need, I would say, for social connection. I think, and that's probably post-COVID. That's rapidly embraced when we were all locked in, and the connection was more virtual, where now people want to meet. So for me, that's what I see with hotels now is the blending the space and being much more flexible to add things like wellness, mindfulness. How do you embrace this? From one side you focus on yourself, but from the other side, how do you facilitate the connectivity between the people? And eventually, that's, I think, what people are coming. It's not the bed, okay? So I'll give you another example. My wife and I recently went to one of the, a beautiful hotel that is kind of a luxury hotel in a regional area. And we arrived around, I think it was on Friday afternoon for a weekend. And we had a great meal. And then what? Not before, not after. You think, okay, well, so we're going back to and they had a beautiful lounge, and with a nice, it was in the winter, so there was a nice wood fire. And I thought, if there would be a live music, if there would be somebody to facilitate a talk, if tomorrow morning you would wake up and walk, and then slowly you're meeting people. How many opportunities we have to meet people? So for me, would I come back? I'm not sure. If I come back just to be by myself, yes. But would I stay long? I'm not sure. It's so I think it's really about creating this experience that is about creating this soul, this vibe, and connectivity with people. You probably know we have hotels in Thailand, in Phuket. So we took a 5-star resort, and we added small rooms that had very large villas and apartment style and so on. And we added small rooms, and we even added, some community room, and we added a room for people, a lounge for people to connect, and then a DJ session and so on. And you see that people are actually coming, and they're not talking about the service. The service, it's they take for granted that the service in Thailand is amazing and people are nice and friendly and so on. But their main comment is, oh, we managed to meet so many people and we extended the stay because of this. So I think slowly you see people embracing the connection, wants the social connectivity, wants this vibe and soul that is really missing probably in the spaces of office and so on.
Yeah.
And hotels are working hard to create this content to be more flexible, to create this programming, and it's not an easy things to do. So some hotels are doing it more successfully than others, but in general, I think the shift is absolutely.
Well, I think
towards this.
hotels